Greetings and good evening from Jack Wippich Court here at Kimberly High School, site of tonight's Fox Valley Association girls basketball matchup. Number 2 Kimberly taking on number 6 Hortonville, one of the top games of the night in the state of Wisconsin. I'm Brett Christopherson with USA Today Network Wisconsin and the Post Crescent. Thank you for joining us. The first of 2 games we're going to bring you in our Cellcom Varsity Game of the Week basketball doubleheader. Second Friday in a row we're doing that. And great to be here at Kimberly High School. Hanging out with me is Mike Sherry. He's pinch hitting for Ricardo Arguello tonight. Ricardo is off. And then manning the high definition cameras from center court is Jim Rosandick. We call him Rosie. And Mike, thank you for helping out with us tonight. First of all, appreciate that.
Good to be here. You usually call me Rusty Staub. I'm just Rusty. It's been a while since I've been up here with the headset on. You guys did such a great job during the football season that I didn't need to pinch hit at all then, and now we're into basketball season already.
Yeah, basketball, and obviously a good one here. You got a Papermakers team that's off to a good start despite some tough injuries, ranked number 2 in the state. And of course, Hortonville, Rainey Wilson, on the short list of State Player of the Year without a doubt, and she's off to a sensational start. This is going to be a good matchup, a good early season test for both of these teams that have really loaded up the non-conference slate with some tough teams. And, of course, here in the FBA, these 2 teams are going to battle it out for the FBA championship this season.
Yeah, we talk all the time, Brad, about how fortunate we are to have so many good teams and so many good athletes in our area. And this girls' game tonight is just an example of that. As you said, Kimberly ranked number 2, Hortonville ranked number 6. Talent up and down the roster for both of these teams. And then we got the boys' game coming up after. Maybe not the marquee talent in the boys' game that we have in the girls' game, but still 2 really good boys' teams. So it's going to be a great doubleheader tonight, and especially the girls' game. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one goes.
Yeah, I like these doubleheaders. It's fun. Everybody kind of fills the gym and gets to hang out and watch both of these teams rather than splitting them up, right, and saying, for instance, if Kimberly boys were at Hortonville, splitting up the crowd. So it should be a festive, good atmosphere, early season, like playoff type atmosphere, especially for this girls' game. But I tell you what, Mike, why don't you sit tight? I got some game notes to read. I'm going to start with Kimberly, and then you finish it up with Hortonville if you don't mind. Kimberly 4-0 on the season, 2-0 in the Fox Valley Association. The Papermakers, as I said, ranked second in this week's WisSports.net Division I state coaches poll, and they're coming off a 62-49 victory over 9th-ranked De Pere on Tuesday in a non-conference matchup. Up in De Pere, Reagan Krieger had a big night for Kimberly with 18 points and 9 rebounds. She shot 8 of 14 overall and also tallied a pair of assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Emily Urban also finished in double figures with 14 points on 6 of 9 shooting. She finished with 5 steals and 3 rebounds. Haley Doulis and Ava Van Vonderen chipped in with 11 points and 6 rebounds apiece. Doulis added 4 assists while Van Vonderen was credited with 4 steals and 3 assists. Kimberly recorded 37 rebounds in the win, also posting 12 steals. The Papermakers, this was impressive too, assisted on 16 of their 23 made baskets, so really sharing the ball well. On the season, Krieger right now the team's top scorer at 16 points per game. She's shooting 57% overall, 14 of 16 from the free throw line. Doulis is next with 15.5 points. She's shooting 46% overall and is 9 of 10 from the stripe. Van Vonderen is also averaging in double figures at 10.7 points per game. She's shooting 34% overall and 46% from three-point range. Krieger leads the way in rebounding at 7.5 per game. Doulis is next at 6.2 boards, followed by Van Vonderen at 5.7. Emily Urban is tops in assists at an even 3 per game. As a team, Kimberly is shooting 46% overall, 36% from three-point range, and 82% from the free throw line. Opponents are shooting 33% overall and 29% from three-point range. The Papermakers are also out-rebounding their opponents 31.5 to 19.2 and averaging 7.5 steals per game. And then as we look at the scoreboard, Kimberly averaging 62.8 points per game and allowing 50.5 up next for Kimberly. They'll be home against Appleton West Tuesday night. FBA matchup tip-off is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Mike, it's your turn. What can you tell everybody out there about the Hortonville Polar Bears?
6th ranked Hortonville is 2-0 in the Fox Valley Association and 2-1 overall. Polar Bears are ranked 6th in this week's List Sports Division I state purchase poll. They're coming off a 79-58 victory over Appleton North last Friday in an FBA matchup at North. Senior standout Rainey Wilson had a monster game for Hortonville that night, Brett, with 36 points. She was 14 of 18 shooting from the field, including 5 of 8 on three-pointers. She also had 4 assists, 4 steals, and 3 rebounds. Hardin Pepler finished with 19 points net in that game, had 7 steals, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. She was 9 for 18 from the floor. And Leah Harrody added 12 points, 3 rebounds, and was 4 of 6 shooting, all from three-point range. Appleton North turned the ball over 29 times, with the Polar Bears credited with 20 steals in that game, Brett. For the season, Wilson is averaging 26.7 points per game to lead the way in scoring. That leads the FBA. She's shooting 56% from the field, 35% from the three-point range, and is 82% from the free-throw line. Pepler is next to the Polar Bears at 12.3 points per game. She's shooting 42% overall. Wilson, Pepler, and Julian Martin are tops on the team in rebounding at 4.7, 4.3, and 4 per game respectively. And Wilson leads the Polar Bears in assists with 3.3 per game, which ranks second in the conference. As a team, Hortonville is shooting 42% overall from the field, including 28% from the three-point range and 76% from the free throw line. Opponents are shooting 41% overall and 35% from the three-point range. Opponents are out-rebounding the Polar Bears 33.7 to 25.3, and Hortonville is averaging 12 steals per game. For the season, Hortonville is averaging 62 points per game and allowing 60.7. Up next for the Polar Bears after tonight, Brett, is a game against Fond du Lac at home on Tuesday night with a tip-off scheduled for 7:45.
So there you have it. Game notes, Kimberly and Hortonville. And a few minutes to go before warm-ups are done. We'll get the starting 5, obviously, in a little bit, and national anthem coming up as well. But I want to thank our sponsors, Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. For a limited time at Cellcom, every phone is on sale or free for new and existing customers. Capture all your holiday memories on a new phone. Stop in or shop online at cellcom.com and get your team, club, or business name out there with Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They customize products specifically to fit their customers' needs. Custom embroidery, screen printing, and graphic design. Cooney's does it all. Visit them online at cooney'sembroideryandsportswear.com. So how do you like being out of the office, right? You're in the trenches with us tonight, Mike Sherry.
I love getting out of the office. Of course, I was out of the office pretty much every Friday night during the football season doing video. Saw quite a few games this year, all over the place, mostly FEA games, but I saw a few other games. Made the trip up to Rhinelander for the Wrightstown state semifinal football game. So I get out of the office occasionally, but not too much during the winter season, so this is a nice treat for me.
All right, talking to Ricardo last week, we did the doubleheader, Kimberly and Nina down at Nina, and mentioning to Ricardo that it sure was a nice fall football season, wasn't it? Every Friday night, even your trip up to Rhinelander in November for a state semifinal wasn't too chilly, so not the case now, though.
It got a little cold about midway through the fourth quarter. I started feeling it up in Rhinelander, but yeah, you're right. For the most part, even that game was manageable.
Well, nice and toasty, warm in here, and I want to thank Ryan McGinnis, the athletic director here. Like everywhere else, it seems like all of these great athletic directors and staffs, they always roll out the red carpet for us, so we appreciate it. Good to see Ryan again, and had a little chat with him before the game. Asked how his daughter, Kimberly standout, Kate McGinnis, Belmont University commit. She's been out for the whole season. I mean, it's a brief season, but dealing with a little bit of a knee issue, right, and is expected to be coming back here not too long from now. She's closing in on the 1,000-point mark, and I kind of joked with Ryan. I said, do they need Kate right now? And, of course, we had a good laugh about that because I was joking. Of course, Kate, one of the top senior players in the state of Wisconsin, so this Kimberly team hasn't missed a beat. But when she comes back, Bentley Drought comes back. She's a little nicked up as well. Yikes. The depth on this team is already showing itself right now with a tough non-conference schedule, and then we're going to see how it all plays out tonight.
Yeah, like you said, they'll definitely welcome both of those players back, but so far they haven't missed a beat not having them. So with young players too. You know, it's a pretty young roster for Kimberly outside of a few seniors, and just so much talent. So they'll definitely welcome those players back, but they're playing well without them so far.
Well, looking forward to this one, and really looking forward to 2 fantastic games. And again, fun to. I like the setup. I like the doubleheader. It's a little bit more work on our end because you're preparing for 2 games, but that's okay. It's easy to do 2 games when you're just kind of sitting on our humps or our rumps here, right, Mike? And just kind of letting it all play out now. All the hard work is in front of or behind us. Now it's just watching some good basketball.
Absolutely. And basketball games go pretty quick, Brett. So even 2 games, you can get 2 games in quicker than 1 football game in a lot of cases. So
I'll tell you what, national anthem coming up first, and then we will meet the starting 5s for both teams. Just going to let, I'm sorry, I'm going to let Rosie know that. Rosie, we're getting somebody on our chat saying that the mic, you can't hear it. I think it's Mike Sherry right now. Music and background noise is drowning him out. So doing a little technical fix here. Hopefully we can get that all straightened out.
I'm surprised anybody wants to hear anything I have to say.
Well, we want to hear you, Mike. So we'll meet the starting 5 here in a moment for the Polar Bears. All right, for the Hortonville Polar Bears, a 5'10" senior guard, number 4, Rainey Wilson. 5'10" senior forward guard, number 10, Leah Hurley. 5'4" sophomore guard, number 11, Maddie Springer. 5'9" forward guard, a junior, number 14, Julian Martin. And a 5'8" sophomore guard, number 23, Carden Pepler. That's Wilson, Hurley, Springer, Martin, and Pepler for Coach A.C. Clothier and the Hortonville Polar Bears. Time to meet the Kimberly Papermakers. A 5'6" junior guard, number 3, Emily Urban. 5'7" sophomore guard, number 14, Kennedy Evan. A 6-foot sophomore forward, number 33, Haley Doulis. A 6'1" sophomore guard, number 34, Ava Van Bondren. And a 6'1" senior forward, number 44, Reagan Krieger. That's Urban, Evan, Doulis, Van Bondren, and Krieger for Dave Lepisto and the Kimberly Papermakers. So we are all set to go here. Number 2 against number 6, Mike, one of the top games of the night.
A lot of people say basketball season doesn't start till late January, early February, Brett, but it's really nice to see these big games being played even before Christmas, and tonight's a huge one.
It's going to taper off here in a little bit. Of course, the holidays, though, they have like what the WBY shootout down at in the Milwaukee area, Concordia, I believe. So there's some pretty big-time matchups. But you're right. Typically, I don't think people really get in that basketball mode until after the holidays are done and they're ready to go.
You tell that to these two coaches. They want to win tonight, whether it's early December or late February.
Yeah, they're ready to go now, aren't they? So, and that's life in the Fox Valley Association, right? I mean, Nina's going to be tough this year with Rowan Klesman. Appleton East is going to get going as well. So it's going to be some battles here, and we got one tonight. Kimberly controls the tip. They're in the home white, and we are underway from Jack Wippich Court.
Krieger, the only senior starting for the Papermakers tonight, Brett.
Yeah, and she's going to take it right to the rack with pretty good defense there. Krieger, one of the top post players in the Fox Valley Association. How about Van Vonderen with the turnaround? Just couldn't get it to fall, but I like the spacing, a lot of movement, and a lot of what we saw last week at Nina already showing itself on that first possession. We're going to get an early foul. That's going to be on Martin. Sometimes you watch these early season games and teams can get stagnant, right? Not quite getting into the flow. The chemistry might not be there. But for Kimberly particularly, it should be there, I think, really for the most part of the season. I mean, when you think about just these kids have played with each other even last year. All these kids were together, and you get Kate McGinnis back, so the chemistry is going to be very strong. Shouldn't be much of an issue there. I think Hortonville might be a little bit of a different story because they are missing a lot of pieces, some talented kids that graduated from last year. Obviously, you still have Rainey Wilson, but then you have Pepler, and she's, a sophomore. She saw some minutes last year as well, but beyond that, trying to get some experience, and that's always tough to do here in the early stages of the season. But A.C. Clothier, the head coach for Hortonville, he's going to get that going pretty fast, I'm sure.
I'd say Pepler did more than just saw a few minutes last year. She was one of the best freshmen in the state. So
good point.
But, these kids, they play all summer long. They play, it's not like the old days, Brett, when we were in high school where you didn't pick up a basketball until the first day of basketball practice because you were playing football or a different fall sport. These kids are playing all their sports year-round now. So I think the chemistry probably comes a little quicker than it might have in the, I don't want to say the olden days, but you know what I mean.
No, they're the olden days. So 2 fouls already on Hortonville. That's the first team foul for Kimberly. 16:33 to go in this opening half. Cellcom Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. Martin's going to take one from deep. Too strong on that. Nice rebound by Van Vonderen, and here comes Urban up the floor. Look at how quickly Kimberly gets out. That's Doulis. She had a big game against Nina last week. That's one thing, too, that was very impressive with Kimberly is rebound and boom, they're out in transition, and they're going to try to dictate tempo and try to get some transition points either off of turnovers or, missed baskets. Even, I remember last week, Nina would hit some shots, and that inbound pass was, bam, they were down the floor fast. So got to be ready to get back on defense, and that's going to be a turnover. Some miscommunication there, I think, between Wilson and Springer.
Yeah, she was looking for a foul there. She tried to make a move out top and couldn't get past the defender, and I think she was looking for the foul. This Kimberly team, Brett's just so much length,
Yeah.
3 girls, just real tall, athletic girls out there.
And again, Krieger right there with that spin move. Great footwork. Again, one of the top post players in the conference, but really good job just collapsing on her, and you can see Hortonville going to try to bother her as much as she can. They don't want her to take over in the paint, and that's a miss by Doulis, but they'll take that every time.
Still looking for the first points of the day.
Here's Wilson going to take it tough in traffic and gets the finish, and there's your first bucket of the night. The Maryland recruit, 2-0 Hortonville. Boy, just taking it fearless is Rainey Wilson. It's been so fun to watch her play these last, I guess 4 seasons now. Doulis again in traffic. She was bumped, gets her own miss off the glass. No good. Rebound, Martin. Hortonville doing I should take that back. Kimberly doing a good job, Mike, getting into the paint, but I think Hortonville is responding by playing physical right now, and the officials letting some of that contact go.
They didn't let that contact go there. That foul called on Kennedy Eben. Hortonville's done a good job. They got a couple of quick early fouls, Brett, but since then they've done a good job of keeping their hands up, not reaching too much down on the other end, because like you said, Kimberly's getting to the basket. They're getting contested shots once they get there. Like you said, Wilson going to Maryland. This game's loaded with college talent though. Either players who've already been offered or committed already or have offers.
There's a three, too strong. That was Springer. Oh, rebound Martin, and there you go. Second chance points for the Polar Bears, 4-0 Hortonville. As we look at our Cellcom Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. There's a jumper from the free throw line. Good look. That was Urban with the miss. Here comes Wilson. Oh, she's good. She doesn't need much space from the top. And it's going to be a quick timeout by Dave Lepisto. Wilson with 5 after hitting that triple from the top. 7-0 Hortonville with the lead as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. This is going to be a full timeout for Kimberly.
A few mistakes by Kimberly throwing the ball away led to a couple of baskets for Hortonville, and then there Wilson just took advantage of her ability to create her own offense. Got herself open there at the top of the key and looked real smooth shooting that three-pointer.
Yeah, you mentioned the college. You look at Kimberly. Well, let's start with, of course, Rainey Wilson, right? Going to the University of Maryland. She comes into tonight as the Hortonville scoring leader all time for the Polar Bears. Tonight's actions, well, she entered with 1,704 career points. Now you can add 5 more to that, so 1,709. Shay Frederick, a 2018 graduate of Hortonville, was the previous record holder with 1,450 points. We'll talk a little bit more about Wilson's career stats, but we mentioned Kate McGinnis now in Kimberly, going to Belmont. And then the papermakers, Reagan Krieger. She's committed to Division II Minnesota Duluth, and then Van Vonderen, Duelis, and a bunch of others we'll get to as well have college offers. So it's, as you said, Mike, just tremendous talent up and down the floor. Let's see how the Kimberly Papermakers come out of that timeout, though. Maybe try to calm things down a little bit. There you go, trying to get it to your post player with the left hand. Krieger wanted it to fall, and but she'll go to the line shooting too.
Yeah, I think she got fouled twice there, Brett. She got fouled on the entry pass, and then that wasn't called, and then she got fouled going up for the shot. So.
Julian Martin now with 2 fouls for Hortonville, one of the starters for the Polar Bears, and Krieger again, always been just really impressed with her game, just so good. Can't get the first free throw to fall. But what a focal point offensively when you got all of that talent. When you right, the best offenses run through the post, and boy, she is just so tough on that block. She can finish, she can kick out, open things up for her other teammates, and she knocks one down. So Kimberly on the scoreboard, but again, been a treat to watch her play. All of these kids play. Been a treat to watch Rainey Wilson over the years, as I said. I was talking to Ryan McGinnis about that earlier as well. It's like you think, okay, Allie Zabel's now graduated, right, from Neenah, and Kate McGinnis and Wilson are going to go this year as Wilson again using the glass. Tough angle, but she gets it to fall. I just, we say, like, how can there be anybody that could fill those gaps when they leave? But yet here in this area, in the Fox Valley, they just keep coming through. It's Urban with the bucket, first field goal of the night.
Well, and Ryan McGinnis knows the thing about basketball talent. Of course, his wife, Lori, played at Oshkosh North back in the early 90s and then ended up at Marquette, and she was a sensational player. So
Krieger blocking that three-point attempt by Martin. Martin staying in the game with those 2 fouls. Yeah, it was a Lori Gorlitz, right, for... Is that Eben with a triple from the corner? Yeah, number 14. So now the Papermakers heating up, but to finish that thought, Lori starred Oshkosh North. She was Miss Basketball in the state of Wisconsin back then. So
shows how old I am. My first year working in Oshkosh after I graduated college was her senior year at Oshkosh North.
Really?
So the first high school basketball game I covered in the Oshkosh area was an Oshkosh North girls game with Lori playing.
And there you see right there, and there's Eben finishing, but Krieger, so much attention, Mike, on Reagan Krieger, and she just, here, you got a clean look, a clean path to the basket. I'm just going to feed you for the easy bucket. And that's another thing about Reagan's game, very unselfish, right? Sometimes you get these post players, they just want to kind of dominate, finish, even with double teams, sometimes triple teams. She's more than a willing passer and gets her teammates so involved. Oh, beautiful. Speaking of, guys, bounce pass, huh?
Speaking of willing passers, very good pass by Harrelly there.
Yeah, to Martin with the finish. Both of these teams well coached. Dave Lepisto at Kimberly, AC Clothier with Hortonville. There's Krieger going to take it up. Whoa. I think that was Wilson who kind of altered that shot coming through quickly with that help defense. Now, somehow, the paper makers are able to control it. See if they want to calm things down and reset. Nope, Krieger's going to take it on the deck. Tough shot. She's fouled. And she'll go back to the line. Hurley picks up the foul.
You know, Brett, it's early in the game and early in the season, but and I'm not saying she wasn't a willing defender in the past, but it seems like Rainey Wilson is more active on the defensive end in this early game and maybe this season than maybe we've seen in past years.
Well, you know, we talked about some relative inexperience for Hortonville. Wondering maybe on top of just being the leader she is, if she's even taking even more of a role, trying to kind of incorporate these kids a little bit more and maybe lead by example, so to speak, in that sense as well. Not that she always has, but just kind of taking it even to a higher level.
Well, and Hortonville in past years has had, the Pepler girls and other girls who really were maybe more defensive stoppers and rebounders, and Wilson could maybe focus more on scoring in the past. I think they, and obviously as she gets ready to go to Maryland and play Division I ball, she's trying to make her game more well-rounded by playing both ends of the court.
Zone defense now for the paper makers, but yeah, I mean, Rainey's game has been just stellar all 4 years. I mean, she came in as a freshman, you could see it. And it's just been fun to watch her evolve. And it's going to be fun to watch what she does at the next level. Kind of like we're keeping an eye on Allie Zabel right now and how she's doing at UConn. There, that zone causing some fits. And a turnover for the Polar Bears. Kimberly looking to grab its first lead of the game.
Yeah, Hortonville had a hard time on that possession, kind of deciding what it wanted to do against that zone. And that was a look they either weren't expecting or were caught off guard with.
Oh, I think that might have been. Was that number 12? Was that Werner? Mallory Werner maybe getting a hand on the ball on the spin move by Krieger. Kind of watching that zone, the baseline defenders, they're really kind of playing up, so you can't really get maybe as clean of a look from that high post free throw line maybe as you'd like. There, it was knocked away, almost a turnover. And yeah, reset again, tough shot. That was a pretty good closeout by number 4. That was Kendall Brocktrup. And yeah, right now that zone's definitely making Hortonville uncomfortable.
How many calories do you think Dave Lepisto burns during a game? He is nonstop action from opening tip to the final buzzer.
We kind of joked about that. It's Krieger off the glass, and now the paper makers in front. Joked about that last week. Andy Brownell very animated for Nina, and we are kind of talking about how these two coaches get into it. But don't discount AC Clothier and how he gets into these games as well. Both of these coaches, they like to play defense along with their kids on the floor.
Kimberly's on a 12-4 run, Brett, since the 7-0 start for Hortonville.
Wilson, good look from the corner. Good offensive rebound. Wilson there. She's fouled, and she'll go to the line. You can feel the energy in this one. Two of the top teams of the state coming out and kind of exchanging some pretty tough jabs so far.
2 fouls on Urban now, Brett. So.
Yeah. Kimberly did a good job of weathering the early storm. Let's see how Hortonville does with this little run by the paper makers. 8 points now already for Rainey.
Coach Lepisto opting to keep Urban on the court. I think he yelled something to her, and she kind of gave him the thumbs up, like, I'm okay, I won't get another foul. Certainly don't want her to get her third with 9 minutes still to go in the first half.
Well, back and forth now we go as the paper makers coming back from that early deficit. 3-point shot, no good. Rainey Wilson has it. Boy, quickly down the floor. How about that pass? And that's Pepler. Nope, she took too many steps. Carden Pepler, the 5'8" junior guard, maybe just got a little tangled up right at the end, but boy, what an outlet pass on the run by Wilson.
Yeah, she just got caught in between steps there a little bit and had to take just a little like rabbit step there, and it cost her.
3 from the wing, no good. And here comes Pepler and the Polar Bears. 13-12, Hortonville with the lead as we look at our Cellcom Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. That Pepler name, very prominent in Hortonville basketball history, of course.
And another one in the pipeline, Calissa Pepler, a freshman on the JV team tonight.
Boy, Wilson with a tough rebound, offensive rebound, and then just bulldozing her way inside. Just couldn't get to finish, but got to be so tough to defend her. So active, as you said, on both ends of the floor right now.
Both teams playing with great energy, Brett. Both ends of the floor. Shooting hasn't been great for either team, but they are playing hard and getting after it.
And a good crowd here at Kimberly High School as well. Boy, Wilson, one-on-one. Again, in traffic, she's fouled, and she'll go to the line, drawing that foul.
That's always that tricky one there. Do you just go up and lay it in, or do you try to draw the contact? You know, you might miss the shot if you draw contact, but you'll get to the line and get a foul.
Rock truck whistled for the foul, and Wilson now 2 of 2 tonight, making 3 of 3, and she's already got 10 points.
10 of the 14 for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, feels like could be one of those nights for Rainey Wilson, who's had a bunch of them throughout her career and already this season. Double figures of scoring, I believe, now in every game after that free throw.
Scored 20 against Pewaukee, 24 against Oshkosh West, and as we mentioned in the opening, 36 against Appleton North.
Yeah, one of the top players in the state of Wisconsin. We're going to get an offensive foul.
Reagan Krieger, I think they caught for the...
That's her second. And decision time for Dave Lepisto. Down there, does he want to keep Krieger on the floor? He will. Well, let's see. They're going to stay in that zone defense, maybe. What are they going to do here? Well, they're back to man defense. Boy, tough jumper. I mentioned talking to Ryan McGinnis before the game, the athletic director here, again, his daughter Kate, standout on this Papermakers team is Krieger with a bucket. And Krieger now with 7 points for Kimberly, but he said there are a number of college coaches or scouts in, I guess coaches it would be, in the stands tonight, checking out all this talent. Some of these kids that are obviously younger that have offers out. So I wonder if that plays a little bit into or adds to the excitement, right, to the intensity. These kids know who's out here tonight.
And they've probably seen these college coaches before, whether it's, you know, AAU, summer leagues, whatever. They're used to having college coaches in the crowd, but for sure, Brett, you know when they're there, you know when they're watching.
Yeah, get that energy up a little bit higher than normal, but of course when you got 2 against 6, that only adds to the excitement. What do we have here is Krieger with the other bucket, and Kimberly fans not happy with that call. He's saying over and back. What the official was calling there. I was marking the scorebook, so I didn't see it or see why the whistle was blown.
Dave Lepisto did not like it, whatever it was.
Well, neither did the Kimberly fans. 16-15, Papermakers in front as we look at our Cellcom Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. But yeah, you 2 of the best teams in the state going at it, and along with a bunch of college coaches here as well. It feels like a little bit of a tournament-type game.
That's the 16th foul already for Kimberly with still just under 6 minutes to go in the first half, Brett.
Taylor Lilly at the stripe shooting a pair. She's in the scorebook. Her first point of the night, and we're all tied up. Feels like it's going to be a barn burner. And again, we're going to be here for the boys' game as well. And how we'll do that, I'm going to shut this stream down, and then there'll be a brand new link. So look for that after I sign off from this girls' game. We're not going to run it continuous. We're going to have both of the games will have their own links.
2 streams for the price of 1.
2 for the price of 1. And what do we have here? The official. I think there's going to be a timeout for Kimberly.
There's Kimberly players all over the floor there trying to keep their dribble, and I think Coach Lepisto decided, let's regroup here and take a timeout.
Well, Van Vonderen fell on her knees twice.
Maybe a 30. So that's what we have, a 30-second timeout for the Paper Makers.
But now the score is tied.
This will be our last varsity game of the week. Live stream now, I guess in the calendar year. We've got some downtime with the holidays, so we'll get back at it after the break. It's kind of always a screwy schedule this time of year, isn't it? So we'll do 2 for the price of 1, as you said, Mike, and then we'll take a couple weeks off and we'll be back at it right away, right after the new year. Don't know which game we're going to do yet. I'll kind of set that up next week. Varsity Roundtable will return on January 8th, but we have a big Clubhouse Live show coming up on Monday night, our Packers show. I'll talk to everybody out there about what's coming up, but I can say it's a charity show like we just did this past Monday, and hope everybody can make it out to Fox City Stadium.
That was a great show last week with Kenny Clark, right? Toys for Tots?
No, I was, yeah.
No, that's Food Pantry, right?
Food Pantry, yeah.
You're right, yeah.
1,200 pounds of food we ended up donating.
Wow. Thank you for everybody who came out to the show and brought something.
Absolutely. Look at Wilson fighting between 2 Paper Makers. Just can't get that one to fall with her left hand. Krieger again, tough take off the glass. Boy, she uses, looks like tough angles, Mike, but gets those baskets to fall. And again, with some traffic, she was getting bumped as she went up. Wilson again using the glass.
We talked about all the great talents on both teams, Brett, but so far it's kind of been the Krieger and Wilson show for both teams.
Krieger going to Duluth, Wilson going to Maryland. I mean, and both are fearless players, right? Not afraid to get in there and kind of get pushed around or do some pushing themselves.
Wilson's got 13 of the 18 for Hortonville.
And Krieger with a triple.
Krieger,
wow.
Krieger's now got 14, I think, of the 21 for Kimberly.
Krieger with 14, Wilson with 13. Travel, right, dragged her pivot. That's good help defense there. Coming in and just stopping the dribble, but just a little bit of a drag on that pivot foot so a turnover. Kimberly coach Dave Lepisto in his 3rd season in charge. He was an assistant for 9 seasons under longtime Paper Makers coach Troy Cullen, doing a fantastic job. Boy, Krieger again, I thought maybe she'd just put one up from 12 feet or so. Oh, and that's going to be no, they're going to say that ball was tipped. AC Clothier can't believe it. He thought that was a straight turnover, but the official was saying it right from the get-go that ball was tipped. So Kimberly able to keep possession. Tough take, and Krieger is fouled.
They're going to get Wilson or Pepler with that foul. Wilson got that one.
That's her first. And 2-shot foul for Krieger. Krieger 3 of 4 from the free throw line so far and has 14 of Kimberly's 21 points.
Krieger, it seems, has really expanded her game, Brett, from last year. Would you agree? Last year she, I think, spent a lot more time down on the block, maybe a little closer to the basket, but she's all the offense is running through her tonight, like on the free throw line extended.
Yeah, and Ricardo made mention of this last week when we were doing the game down at Nina, that just her footwork is so good, whether she gets the entry pass on the block or kind of attacking and then kind of stops and does some of those up and under moves, or just rotating on her pivot foot. And then you saw there adding that three-point bucket. Now you got to kind of go out on her, and she's got more than enough quickness and skill to beat you off the bounce if you have to close out on her. Turnover as Kimberly up 4. Boy, look at that. Just kind of cleared out the lane. And that's Eben now who's got 7. Love how they just spaced everything out and just opened up the middle of that lane for Eben with the bucket.
Yeah, if you're Kimberly, you can't rest after those baskets. You got to get back on defense because Hortonville is pushing it. So
Hortonville will get out in transition too, right? They like to run, and as Martin at the free throw line, Martin with 4 points for her first trip to the line, misses the first. Yeah, they'll get out in the run. Wilson, of course, we've seen time and time again. She'll get those offensive rebounds, and she takes off. And yeah, you have to, as you said, both of these teams have to really get back defensively. Otherwise, you're going to get burned. And Martin 0 for 2, still with the 4 points. Kimberly up 6, under 3 minutes to play. Very spirited first half here at Kimberly High School.
Good substitution there, I think, Brett, by Coach Lepisto. We brought Krieger and Eben both to the bench for the last. We'll see if they sit out the final 3 minutes, but both of them with 2 fouls. So maybe he's thinking with a 6-point lead, he can milk the clock a little bit here and get to halftime with those two still having only 2 fouls.
Well, let's see how much clock Kimberly wants to burn. Oh, Van Vonderen rainbows one. I thought that was going to fall. No good. And here comes Pepler with it.
So much for milking the clock, right?
Hey, I've been burned on that one too many times. Turnover.
Well, I didn't think they would go, 4 corners and pull the ball out, but definitely it'll be selective here, I think, in the last 2 minutes.
Mike, there's been so many times where I've said Hortonville's going to take a 30-second timeout. I've been burned many times over the years when I say, well, there's no rush. They can kind of work the clock, and no sooner they maybe have possession of it for 10 seconds, up 4 with like a minute and a half to go, and they're launching a three-pointer. So I think I've given up on it, trying to predict how to run some clock.
That's kids these days. That's coaches these days. I think they're aggressive. I think they're a lot more, every possession is, a chance to score. Is I think how they look at it, and the more shots we can get up, the more chances we have to score. Kimberly's outscored Hortonville, 24-11 since falling down 7-0. So a real nice comeback for the Papermakers.
Three-pointer, good. That looked good all the way. That's Claudia Asman, her first bucket of the night, and now a 9-point lead for the Papermakers. And she's another one. She had a big opening game. I think she had one. I want to say she had 17 points in the opener. Then got a little banged up. Came back in limited minutes last week against Nina. But she is a kid that can come off the bench and really play high-level ball for Dave Lepisto. And there you see it right there, knocking one down. Boy, yeah. I mean, there must have been 3 or 4 defenders all over Randy Wilson. Wilson going to the stripe.
Real strong taking the ball to the basket, Brett.
Now Van Vonderen, Mike, picks up her second with 1:29 to play. What's Coach Lepisto want to do here with Van Vonderen, one of his key players?
Haley Doulis rushed to the scorer's table to check in here. So certainly not dangerous yet, but it's definitely something to watch for the second half with some potential foul problems for Kimberly.
One more free throw for Rainey Wilson. 14 points on the night. Make it. Nope, it's just going to stay 14. So 5 of 6 from the free throw line as Wilson almost coming up with the turnover. And you can see just relentless both offensively and defensively. It was amazing, Mike, that she gets to the free throw line. There must have been 4 defenders just grabbing, and she's still able to get a shot off. Shows you just how strong she is. 3-point attempt from the top. This time no good for Asman. And now with a minute to go, Hortonville trying to whittle away at that 8-point deficit. Pepler, though, 2 defenders on her. Double teaming. We're going to get a tie up. And possession arrow pointing to Hortonville.
Brett, what that strength does for these girls like Rainey Wilson is it gives them confidence to keep their dribble. You know, a lot of times you see players, boys or girls, pick up their dribble if they're not feeling confident or whatever. So she goes to the basket. She's so strong with the ball and confident with the ball that she knows she can keep dribbling.
A little floater by Pepler, just can't get it to fall, but Clothier will take that all night long, and you can see Coach Lepisto saying, okay, maybe they're going to kind of work for that final shot with 35 seconds to go.
Maybe.
Maybe,
or
right?
they'll launch an open three if they get one.
I just said I don't predict anymore, and what did I just do? I'm predicting that they might take or hold for one shot. Hortonville with 5 team fouls, so if they want a foul to give here with 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds now as Duelist, tough take and finishes. Three-point attempt, that's Pepler gonna rainbow one, rims out. And that is how the first half comes to a close. How about that finish for Duelist? Again, in traffic, kind of an acrobatic shot. Tough angle off the glass, but she gets it to fall, and Kimberly with the lead.
That was her first basket of the game, Brad. Pushed the Papermakers lead to double figures there, a 10-point lead at the half. 29-19.
Yeah, halftime here at Jack Wippich Court, Kimberly High School. As we look at our Cellcom Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard, shows the Papermakers on top of the Polar Bears. 29-19. We'll talk more about tonight's game and everything we have coming up digitally with USA Today Network Wisconsin after these messages. Tell you what, we're coming back. A little technical difficulty getting our halftime commercials to run. Maybe Rosie, you want to get over here and take care of that. But some quick first half thoughts, Mike, as we hit halftime for these two teams. Again, you can see why both are rated so highly in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, both teams kind of struggled a little bit out of the gate with their shooting and a few turnovers. But once they got into the flow of the game, it was just. You saw the natural talent for the players on both teams come out, especially Kimberly building a 10-point lead there. Just a really good first half, exactly what we expected to see there, I think, Brett, with both teams playing hard on both ends of the floor. And Kimberly's just had a few more. I think what Kimberly's done probably better than Hortonville is converted. They're both taking the ball to the basket, but Kimberly's making a lot more of those shots than Hortonville is making. Be a fun 18 minutes coming up here in the second half. Hopefully we can get you our sponsor commercials here in a second. All right, we'll be right back, folks, after these short messages.
Promote your business, unite your team, or just get your name out there with help from the professionals at Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, we have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your business or organization. We can put your logo, name, or anything else you want on any article of clothing. From embroidery and screen printing to graphic design and heat press services, we've got you covered. Call today.
For a limited time at Cellcom, every phone is on sale or free for new and existing customers. Because keeping you at the center of everything we do includes giving you the freedom of choice. Stop in or shop online at cellcom.com.
All right, welcome back to Jack Wippich Court, Kimberly High School. Again, as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard, Kimberly on top of Hortonville, 29-19. At the half, again, thanks to our sponsors, Cellcom, I should say, and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. At Cellcom, get those stocking stuffers ready with buy one, gift one free on all connected watches, tablets, and cameras. Mix and match to spread the love and cheer. Visit Cellcom.com for details. And Cooney's, they have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Visit them online at Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear.com. So things coming up, I guess maybe you might have a better idea of it than me, but Ricardo's Fab 5 boys and girls basketball teams, what's the status on those, Mike, and when can folks expect to see those on postcrescent.com?
They're close, Brett. Both teams are in the hands of Rosie, who's here tonight doing
he's working right now.
But we'll expect to have those out early next week. Definitely be next week. We're hoping early in the week girls will come out first, and then hoping maybe Tuesday or Wednesday for the girls team, and then maybe Thursday or Friday for the boys team as well. Always one of the favorite things we do. The kids will really look forward to coming in and getting their picture taken, shooting their video, doing all that kind of stuff. I don't know if we're allowed to mention who the 5 players are, or if we just want to keep it a secret for now. But I will say that 2 players from these teams that are playing right now will be featured in the Fab 5 for the girls team.
Okay. Well, we'll keep it a surprise.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think Ricardo had mentioned it last week down at Neenah when we did the Neenah-Kimberly doubleheader.
No, I don't want to spoil the surprise then.
We want everybody to come online and check it out at postcrescent.com, and of course Ricardo and Rosie and you do such a great job every year showcasing what you guys decide were the top boys and girls basketball players coming into the season. Is that?
No, I don't decide.
Ricardo
decides.
Yeah.
So if anybody's upset, Ricardo decides.
Okay, so blame Ricardo.
But
is that Green Bay Appleton, or is that the entire Fox Valley? Or
we go down to Oshkosh and up to Green Bay. We don't go past Oshkosh. We have in past years. We kind of made a decision this year that maybe we'll keep it a little bit closer to the Fox Valley. I know we've had some Waupun girls in the past. We actually had a couple of. We had somebody from Laconia, because Laconia, as you know, has a great girls program and a lot of really good players. We had somebody reach out and say, "Are you guys going to include some Laconia girls on the Fab 5 this year?" And we talked about it, and like I said, in past years we kind of dipped down a little farther south, but we kind of tried to keep it concentrated a little bit more on the Appleton area, the Fox Valley Association, if you will. Mostly Appleton area and Green Bay area players this year.
Yeah, so sounds good. So look for that again, Fab 5, boys and girls basketball teams. Next week on postcrescent.com. Varsity Roundtable, we just had the Freedom girls basketball team as our guest this past Wednesday, or a couple days ago, I should say. A lot of fun getting to know the Irish. We're off to a great start again. A little surprised they're not in the top 10 in Division III, but I'm sure that's going to change here in the not-too-distant future. They just had a nice win over Marinette, and I've heard good things about the Marines this year on the girls' side. So the Northeastern Conference looks to be, at least from the early going, Freedom, I guess, has to be the favorite to win that league, but obviously some great talent. Some good kids as well. You can always go back to postcrescent.com, click on the Sports tab, and then you'll see a Varsity Roundtable tab. And you can watch a replay of that show. Otherwise, you can go to our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel, subscribe if you don't mind as well, and you can watch all of our live content and videos as well. But definitely check that out. We're taking the next 2 weeks off, and we'll be back at it January 8th, I believe, is when we'll have a Varsity Roundtable again. So some staff vacations and some time off. Of course, the holidays, the Christmas time, New Year's, all that good stuff. So this is, as I said, our last varsity game of the week until the new year. And then we'll really hit it. Well, this will be, games 3 and 4 tonight already, so that's good. And then we'll hit it hot and heavy in January. I'll make an announcement on who we'll be covering. I think that's January 3rd is a Friday night. I've got a pretty good idea of what I want to do, but I'll make the announcement, the official announcement, on my Twitter account at PCBretzi, so please give me a follow. And then Monday night, that's our Packer Show Clubhouse Live that takes place at the Fox Club inside Neuroscience Group Field at Fox City Stadium in Grand Chute, Wisconsin, home of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, also the home to Clubhouse Live. And we're going to have Romeo Dobbs on Monday night. And as part of Romeo's show, he is going to do a toy drive that will benefit Toys for Tots. Anybody who brings in a new toy, or preferably toys, will get Romeo's autograph after the show. 1 autograph per donation, no photos, no monetary donations. We want you to bring toys. And then we're going to have a couple members of the United States Marine Corps there to collect the toys. Capital Credit Union is sponsoring in collaboration with us and Mayfield Sports Marketing. So they will match donations as well. And really looking forward to giving back to the community. We just had a food drive on Monday's Clubhouse Live with Kenny Clark that ended up generating 1,200 pounds of food for Paul's Pantry up in Green Bay. Piggly Wiggly was the sponsor and matched donations there, so we had a fantastic turnout. So we're going to do it again this week, but with Romeo Dobbs toys, you can still get his autograph. Gates open at 5 o'clock. Admission is free. Show starts at 6:30. If for some reason you can't make a show, you can watch it on any of our websites, Facebook pages, and our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel.
And you said we want new toys, right? As much as we love people donating toys that they might have laying around the house, we want new toys for this donation.
I think that's what it has to be, new unwrapped toys, yeah. So that's what we're looking for, but check it out. And, of course, we'll look back on the big Packers-Seahawks Sunday Night Showdown as well. That's Monday at the Fox Club, Neuroscience Group Field at Fox City Stadium in Grand Chute. First half scoring for Kimberly, Urban with 2, Eben with 7, Asman with 3, Dulis with 2, Krieger with 15 to lead all scores. For Hortonville, Lilly with 1, Wilson with 14, and Martin with 4. Got to thank the good folks here at Kimberly High School. They've been giving me some Bruce Springsteen holiday hits. I'm loving it.
I saw you requested that on X today, formerly known as Twitter. You requested some Bruce Springsteen. So
and a little Tom Petty, too, on Christmas, too. They played that as well.
What Brett wants, Brett gets.
Well, it's become tradition here to get your music requests in, so we appreciate that. Thought I'd give a little holiday spirit to the good, all the good folks hanging out with us tonight.
Well, it's the 13th. We're 11 days away from Christmas Eve already, so
crazy.
Coming fast.
Second half underway. Kimberly opens with the ball and up 10. Wilson, good defense. Whoa, and she can't believe it. Boy, it looked pretty clean from up here. But a foul on Wilson. That's her second.
I think she got ball initially, and then might have come down on the elbow after that. But
well, the official is much better positioned down there than we are up here in the balcony.
Without a doubt.
And officials doing a fantastic job as always tonight. Eben at the line, misses the first.
Rainey's talking to the official right now, and he's smiling. They're both smiling, so.
And misses both. Kimberly had started the season pretty hot from the free throw line, and that's the first. Yeah, no, I take that back. Of course, Krieger had a bunch of free throws in the first half. 4 of 6 she was. And that's going to be a foul on Krieger, I believe, and that'll be a third.
I was wondering if they were going to try to take it to her early in the half to try to get that foul, and they sure did.
So now what do you do if you're Dave Lepisto? You certainly don't want foul number 4 coming with an entire half to play. Martin, little shot fake, but good defense by Krieger. Tough spin and fadeaway, no good. Wilson fighting for it. That's going to be a tie-up. Hortonville will keep it.
These two are always around the ball, aren't they? Krieger and Wilson, always around the ball, both ends of the floor.
Both players fantastic to watch. No fear, as we said in the first half. I have a feeling we're going to see these two teams plenty this season. Kimberly in that zone, Mike. 2-3 zone. Good kick out. Corner 3 is good, and that's a three-pointer by Hurley. She shows a little emotion out there, and that's a big triple for the Polar Bears, down 7.
Her first basket of the game.
Boy, just strong as Krieger now with 17 points, just putting it on the floor and attacking the rim as she has done all game long. Krieger so far, she's got 14 points and 4 rebounds against Brookfield East. Oh, a little tough shot. Martin freed herself on the baseline, just couldn't convert. Krieger also 12 points, 8 rebounds against Appleton East, 20 and 9 against Neenah, and 18 and 9 against De Pere. Just thought about it. And again, in attack mode off the glass. Unstoppable right now is Reagan Krieger. 19 points for Reagan.
All game long, Brett. She's been getting that ball around the free throw line. Most of the time she's been taking it with her left hand. But she can go left hand or right hand down the lane. Very impressive.
Almost a turnover, and instead we're going to get a foul on the Papermakers.
And I think that's going to be on Eben, which is now her third. Or Urban, I'm sorry, not Eben, Urban. So
2 players with 3 fouls for the Papermakers, Urban and Krieger. Look at Rainey Wilson's career stat line coming in, 19.8 points per game, 47% shooting overall, 43% from distance, 87% from the line. Oh, wow, little extra there at the end. They're fighting for that loose ball. Instead, we're going to get a foul.
They're just fighting for the ball there, and I think Wilson just let go of the ball. I don't think she necessarily did any pushing or shoving. She just let go of the ball. Sent Van Vonderen to the floor.
Doulis whistled for the foul, and a turnover. That's Urban, and it's in off the turnover. And a 13-point lead for the Papermakers. Wilson also 286 career assists, 211 steals, all those totals coming into tonight's action for the University of Maryland commit. Oh, tough shot. Krieger did a good job just sort of holding her ground. Van Vonderen going to spot up from deep. And Krieger with an offensive rebound, little flick of the wrist and a little pass to Van Vonderen. Van Vonderen's first hoop of the night, and right now, Kimberly in command, up 15. Remember, it was 7-0 Hortonville. So we talking, what, 37 to 15 since that time?
We talked about the length of Kimberly, Brett, in the first half. They're dominating the glass on both ends of the floor. Hortonville's getting one shot on the offensive end, and Kimberly's getting second looks on when they're on offense. Krieger will go to the bench now, protect her for a few minutes here.
That's going to be on Martin. That will be her third.
So now Martin has 3 fouls. Let's see if the Makers try to take advantage of that.
37-22, Papermakers on top as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. First of 2 Cellcom Varsity Game of the Week live streams coming up. Again, we'll shut this one down, and then there'll be a brand new link for the boys game coming up after this one.
Do I have to stay for the second game?
You're here for the duration, Mike. You can't leave me.
That's past my bedtime.
Yeah, it's way too early in the season for me and Rosie to do this by ourselves. Come wrestling time, when you and Ricardo are busy at state wrestling, it'll be me and Rosie doing it by ourselves.
Great defense there by Brett, by Doulis there, blocking the shot.
Who's the foul going to be on here? Yeah. Martin now picks up her 4th for Hortonville. Doulis at the line, one of the talented Papermakers with scholarship offers.
She's got offers, Brett, from DePaul, UW Green Bay, Marquette, and Milwaukee, among others, I'm sure.
She looks good on both. Yeah, you look, Krieger, as I said, she's going D2 in Minnesota Duluth. She also had a Division I offer from Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. And D2 offers from Michigan Tech, Minnesota State, Roosevelt, St. Cloud State, Truman State, and Winona State. Duelist fighting hard and gets it to fall. Wondering if AC Clothier wants to call a timeout, talk things over, as Kimberly has blown this one open, up 19. Wilson, tough jumper, and rebound Papermakers. What do we have here?
Not exactly sure what was.
Van Vonderen went flying out of bounds, and I don't know if she got pushed or she thought she got pushed, but maybe they're saying she flopped a little bit, so
A warning, perhaps?
might have been a warning for flopping.
She also has 7
Interesting
points.
call. She definitely went flying out of bounds, but didn't look like she got shoved. There might have been a little contact. Wilson was like, put up her hands like, I didn't push her.
Oh, Wilson read that the entire way. Saw it steal and layup. Her first bucket of this half, now with 16 points.
Hortonville's going to need a lot more of that, Brett, to get back in this game. Got to clamp down on the defensive end.
Van Vonderen, she has Division I offers from Butler, DePaul, UW Green Bay, as Duelist with a miss. Marquette, UW Milwaukee, and Wisconsin. And then Emily Urban, Claudia Asman, senior Bentley Drought, who's out right now but should be back soon, and Eben. They have received college interest as well. We have a jump. And of course, Kate McGinnis, Kimberly Senior, is going to play collegiately at Division I Belmont down in Nashville. Also, where Appleton East former star Emily LaChapelle is down there now. She had a number of Division I offers as well. McGinnis, Mike, I don't know if you know this, 13 points away from 1,000 points for her career. So when she makes her debut, she will hit the 1,000 point mark pretty quick.
LaChapelle playing really well for Belmont this year. She had a career high, I want to say 27 or 28 points the other night.
Yeah, I remember she started at Marquette, and it just for some reason wasn't a good fit, but this seems like a great fit for her down at Belmont. Of course, Nashville, a fantastic city. So that's a good get when you have Emily LaChapelle, and you're going to add a talent in Kate McGinnis as well.
Yeah, Belmont's trying to set up a pipeline to Wisconsin. I've seen several Wisconsin high school players have been offered by Belmont.
Kimberly going to take a 30-second time out. Yeah, Bentley Drought, again, another one of those Kimberly kids that is dealing with injury, but Dave Lapisto was hoping both Drought and McGinnis can return around, the Christmas time, maybe a little bit after that, and guessing maybe around the new year or something, and get them both healthy and ready to go. And what an addition those two will be from a team that's off to a great start. Talking about the Papermakers, what a non-conference schedule they've had that it's already included number 8 Brookfield East, which Kimberly won 61-59 in the season opener. Kimberly just took down 9th-ranked Pierce 62-49 on Tuesday. Papermakers are going to host top-ranked Pewaukee here on February 1st. Boy, Pewaukee, yikes. I don't know if they're unbeatable, but they look pretty darn close right now.
The Tarian sisters who are going to Michigan State.
Janowski, she's on that team as well. Also, the Papermakers will take on West De Pere on January 21st here. The Phantoms are ranked number 3 in Division II. We'll talk about Hortonville's non-conference schedule as well. It's just as impressive.
Well, Brett, you talked about McGinnis and Drought coming back, and the beauty is you don't have to rush them back. You can wait and make sure they're 100% ready to go, because for one, you're playing really well without them. You've got a really good team. You've got the benefit of the way high school postseason works in Wisconsin. Everybody gets a new chance, a new season in the postseason, so you don't have to feel like you need to rush anybody back from any kind of injury.
Good point. Yeah, no sense in trying to hurry things along. Make sure you're nice and healthy, and be ready for when the calendar flips to January, because then you really get into that rhythm of the schedule. And next thing you know, that calendar is turning to February, and then all of a sudden it's the stretch run. And you start to think about tournament time a little bit. Season, it's a long season, but I think it always goes pretty fast, too.
Just wish the weather was a little warmer outside, but once you get in the gym, the action is hot.
Ooh. Oh, look at Wilson just getting there with Krieger, reading it and just knocking it away. That's just two high-level players really battling each other right now. There's Pepler doing a nice job just finding the opening in the defense and knocks that one down. Her first points of the night. And is this going to be a Hortonville timeout? Looks like a 30-second timeout for the Polar Bears. I want to quickly mention Hortonville's non-conference schedule. The Polar Bears have faced Pewaukee in the season opener. Pirates winning that one 78-39. That was on November 29th down at Pewaukee. Of course, the Pirates with the defending Division II state champs now playing up in Division I this season. Hortonville's also going to play 10th-ranked Notre Dame on December 28th. They're going to play West De Pere. As I said, the Phantoms are ranked 3rd in Division II. That's on December 30th. Hortonville going to take on 3rd-ranked Homestead on January 25th, and then they're going to take on Providence Academy on February 21st. That's at Hortonville. I believe those two teams played each other last year, but Providence Academy is based in Plymouth, Minnesota. I think Hortonville made the trip over to Minnesota last year, but the Lions, talking about Providence Academy, currently undefeated and ranked number 1 in Minnesota's Class 2A. So both of these coaches really loading up the non-conference schedule on top of what they have to face in the FVA night in and night out.
I was going to say, the battles of the FVA aren't enough for you. You schedule games like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's how you get better.
Has been picked up for the offensive foul, so 14 fouls now.
Some coaches maybe worry a little bit too much about their overall record. They don't want to take a loss here unnecessarily or whatever. And these teams, these coaches are like, hey, we'll play anybody anytime. And that Pewaukee team, they beat Notre Dame not too long ago, right? Handed Notre Dame the loss.
Did they play this season already? Okay, because
I thought they did.
Faced each other in the state championship game. That was like the 3rd straight year, I think, in Division II final that they played. Notre Dame winning the first 2 of those matchups. Notre Dame, I believe, was going for the 4-peat this last year, but then Pewaukee turned them away.
Yeah, and then Notre Dame got beat by De Pere, snapping there. Was it a 69-game FRCC winning streak?
Yeah. Yeah, De Pere looking pretty good, but then again, Kimberly taking down the Redbirds, so De Pere, some pretty good basketball going on up there. I see the boys are off to a great start again, ranked number 1 in the state again, led by Zach Kinziger, the Badger recruit.
So much talent, so many good teams, so many good players up here. Be a fun winter.
Well, we say it all the time. Many of the state's best are right here in the northeast Wisconsin, Fox Valley region. Makes what we do a lot of fun.
It just gets better every year. I mean, it never gets stagnant. Every team is getting better. Every player is getting better, whether that's the girls or the boys. They put in so much time and effort into this now.
So Wilson now in some serious foul trouble.
Well, and of course, this area of the state is one of the largest already, but just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and stands the reason why this talent just keeps flowing over here to the Fox Valley. And in this, well, not only this league is Krieger, but you think even the Northeastern Conference and how good of a league that is for what the Division III level, or even in the football, D3, 4, and 5 teams. I mean, that's really one of the best leagues in the state as well. And, you know, you got the Freedoms and Wrightstowns and FBLs and Little Shoots of the world that play in that league. FRCC had a big season with Bayport winning state football and Notre Dame winning state football. West De Pere darn near made it to the state finals. So good stuff happening when it comes to this part of the state. Ooh, tough shot, bank shot. That's number 10. That is Early. She's got 5.
Nice move there. Little step away jumper there to give herself some space to get the shot off.
Hortonville, of course, last year, 22-6 overall. Fell in the sectional final to Neenah, but won the FVA at 17-1. Is that Van Vonderen going to the line? I believe so. 8th foul now against the Polar Bears. Pepler picks up her 3rd shooting foul, so a pair of free throws for Van Vonderen. Her first trip to the night up to the line tonight. Van Vonderen with just 2 points. Make it 3. That's the thing, too, I think, with this Kimberly team, Mike, is different kids are going to kind of lead the way, right? You know, one night it's going to be Krieger, another night it's going to be Van Vonderen, then it's going to be Duelis, and then McGinnis when she's back. You don't have to lean on one player to kind of do the heavy lift, and they got a bunch of players that can really fill it up. And, boy, what a luxury that is for Coach Lepisto.
Yeah, you just run your offense. Just work your offense, and whoever gets the open shot, take it.
Yeah, Van Vonderen with the block on the corner 3 attempt. Showing that length, Van Vonderen, again, number 34, 6'1" guard, but with those long arms, closed out well on that shooter at the corner. Scoop shot off the glass. Asman can't get it to fall. Offensive rebound, though, is Krieger. She's got 23 now on the night. Reagan Krieger having a huge night. Kimberly up 19 as we are under 8 minutes to play in this matchup of state-ranked teams.
Brett, we said it at the start, Hortonville averaging 62 points a game. They're at 28 right now with 7.5 minutes to go. Just a great defensive effort by Kimberly tonight. Some of it unforced errors as well for Hortonville, but the pressure and the tenacity that Kimberly's playing defense with tonight is giving Hortonville some trouble.
Yeah, and mixing things up defensively too, right? Sometimes it's man, then they'll switch to a zone, and it kind of keeps you on your heels and keeps you thinking a little bit. So full timeout for Hortonville. Is a good look at AC Clothier. Talk about him, 3rd-year coach for the Polar Bears, and a familiar face, of course, to Fox Valley High School sports followers. He was the girls' head coach at Xavier High School, and then jumped up to the collegiate level where he served as a women's basketball assistant at the University of St. Thomas and then at Concordia University down in Mequon. An 06 Xavier graduate. I remember I covered him as an athlete. That shows you how long I've been doing this. We were joking about that on Monday because Hortonville girls basketball was our team of the week as part of our Clubhouse Live show. And talking to AC about that. But AC led his Hawks, his alma mater, to a 16-1-19 record. And back-to-back state tournament appearances. Was it 15 and 16, I want to say? Hawks reached the championship game in D3 in 15, where they fell to Whitewater. He also led Hortonville to a D1 state tournament semifinal appearance in 2023. Hortonville falling to eventual state champion Kettle Moraine, but excellent coach, 2 excellent coaches on display here tonight. Know their stuff. We're talking about that even on the boys' side. You know, we're going to see Freddie Owens, for the new head coach at Kimberly. He a long career as an assistant at the collegiate level. Of course, the former Badger. And Chris Kellett at Appleton North, coached at Lawrence for some time. Lee Rubbus, of course, the Neenah coach, coaching at Lawrence as well as UW Fox Valley, and bringing that college game a little bit down here to the high school ranks.
Nice pass from Wilson. Well, that's why your programs, so many programs here are so good, Brett. The level of coaching is definitely up there, as well as the level of talent for the players.
Not exactly on target.
Well, we'll talk about it in the boys' game. And again, once this game is done, we're shutting this one down, and then there will be a brand new link opening up for the boys' game. So again, that'll be on postcrescent.com and also our Facebook page and our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel. So that'll be its own separate game. But we'll talk about some of the comments that Freddie Owens had to Ricardo. Ricardo caught up with Freddie, Coach Owens, after last week's game down at Neenah, and kind of admitted, yeah, it's a bit of a challenge going from the college ranks to the pro level. The biggest one being the time you can spend with these kids. It's different, right? These kids are in high school. They have classes. There's only a certain amount of gym time, practice time you can get. A little bit more open at the college level. There's Van Vonderen with a triple.
If you haven't read the story, head to postcrescent.com. Read Ricardo's story on Freddie Owens, talking about his reasons for coming to Kimberly and how the first season is going so far.
Well, nice spin move by Pepler. Just couldn't get it to fall. Well, did we mention Cammie and Callie, her sisters, Hortonville standouts? Both playing at UW Milwaukee. I believe Cammie, what is she, a junior now with the Panthers? Or am I thinking of Callie? I always get them mixed up.
I think Cammie's the junior. Callie's a freshman. That's 4 fouls now on Rainey Wilson.
Krieger, 23 points, and make it 24 now. Big game for Reagan.
6 minutes left.
Well, Cardin Pepler right now has D1 offers from Butler, Eastern Illinois, UW Green Bay, Marquette, and UW Milwaukee. So that's a nice list already for the sophomore as Krieger hits them both. Krieger now with 25. But yeah, Cammie and Callie. Cammie has started all 12 games so far for the Panthers, averaging 7.8 points, 5.3 assists, 3.7 rebounds per game. Callie, a freshman with the Panthers. She has appeared in all 12 games as well and averaging 2.8 points. My guess is Milwaukee might have a little bit of an in with, with Cardin, perhaps, with both of her sisters now at UW Milwaukee.
You would think so. You would think they're definitely going to get a strong look. Cammie will be gone before Cardin is ready for college, though, right? So no chance of 3 of them playing at the same team?
Correct. And I believe, is this the last year at the college level of the COVID year? Is that finally coming to an end?
I hope so.
I've seen a lot of these college kids. Ooh, tough shot for Pepler. Couldn't get it to fall, but it seems like they've been there forever. That'd be a travel. Yep, took a few too many steps before she put the ball on the floor.
Is that John Tanji for the Badgers this year? Isn't he in his sixth season playing of college basketball?
He even got a medical red shirt, right? Wasn't he at Missouri last year and got banged up a little bit? Oh, look at, again, Wilson attacking, finishing in traffic. And she'll go to the line to go for the 3-point play.
Herself in the paint, at only 5'6", Wilson 5'10".
Figured on a foul there. She was content to just let Rainey Wilson have the basket.
Hortonville going to burn a full timeout. Again, folks, we have a great deal on a digital subscription right now to the Post-Crescent, any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites. Just 6 months for $1. That's all it costs. And you get full unlimited access on your desktop, tablet, and mobile devices every day. Exclusive subscriber newsletters, full access to national reporting with the USA Today Sports Plus app. Also, that includes a digital replica of the print edition, which is called the e-edition. You can find more information on any of our sites, but 6 months for $1, that's all it costs. Take you all the way through the spring season.
Can't beat that. Make a great Christmas gift.
Very cheap Christmas gift as well. You can't go wrong, $1.
You'll have enough money left over to buy other gifts for the people in your family, but you can still afford that subscription.
No doubt. Hank DeWild, is this a boy-girls doubleheader tonight? Yes, Hank, but again, this will shut down. We're going to shut this stream down, and then we're going to relaunch a brand new stream right after this game. So this will close. We're not going to stream this simultaneously through the same stream. Both games will have their own links. So if you want to watch the boys game, it'll be on the USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel as well, also postcrescent.com and our Facebook page. Speaking of that, again, I'll announce the next matchup we stream on my Twitter account, or X, I still call it Twitter, at PCBrettC. That'll be after the new year. You can access our previous Game of the Week live streams on our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites. Just go to the sports section and scroll down until you see the Watch Our Varsity Game of the Week Prep live streams link.
Kimberly content to just run some clock and try to get a good shot. Take the open shot if they get one, but they turned it over there. Hortonville has any chance to win this game, Brett. They need to run off 8, 9, 10 points here pretty quick.
Hit a few threes, get some turnovers.
They can do it. It can be done, but they need to get doing it soon.
Well, there you go. There's Pepler with a nice little spin. Tough shot with the defender in her face, and there's that pressure. Let's see if Hortonville can get a turnover, but Kimberly, not too much of a problem getting it past the half-court line, and now Papermaker setting up offense. A nice, good bounce pass from Urban to Van Vonderen. And Van Vonderen now with 9 points, all coming this half. 3, and that rolls in for Hurley. She's got a couple triples and 8 points all this half. I think that's going to be the key, obviously. I mean, kind of stating the obvious here is let's see what happens right there. And we're going to get a blocking call. Krieger going to the line. Wilson not liking that. Now that's Wilson's 5th. So Rainey Wilson has just fallen out of the game. And she falls out with 20 points. But I was going to say, Mike, with Hortonville, obviously Rainey's going to lead the way scoring-wise, but who's going to kind of take that secondary role, the third role, and just kind of maybe take some of that pressure off of her a little bit? Obviously, Pepler is going to get hers too, but let's see who develops as the season goes on, because what you see here in December, you're going to see a completely different team come February, and they're going to get kind of entrenched in their roles and going to kind of figure things out. And I think you're going to see some players step up from a scoring standpoint to take some of that pressure off of Wilson, and then of course Pepler as well.
Yeah, and I think they will. I mean, it's been Pepler so far this year. She's averaging 12 points a game. She's not close to that tonight, but again, a lot of that I think has more to do with the way Kimberly's playing defense tonight than anything Hortonville maybe isn't doing. So, but yeah, it's a long season. They'll find other scoring outlets for to help out besides Wilson.
Again, getting kids acclimated, more experience, right? And again, with both of these coaches, and as well as Kimberly's playing, that's going to be a different team come mid-January on. Of course, again, when they get a couple of more of their pieces back, including Kate McGinnis, Bentley Drought, 2 kids, very talented kids that are out right now. So it's going to be really fun. I don't think these two teams are in the same sectional either. I think they split up. So
I think that's right, yes.
That's always interesting, too, how that plays out. Who's going where and who has to face.
Well, and with Notre Dame up in D1 this year, right? So I think they're in. They might be in with Kimberly, though.
There you go. See the talent of Pepler there with the finish. Now she's got 6.
The lead is still 17, just under 3 minutes to go. Brett, Hortonville with the basket there, and now the turnover.
That's a 3, and that's good. Is that Hurley again? Wow, she's found her shooting stroke this half. That's her 3rd triple. 11 points for the half and the game.
She's like, Brett, I can be that scorer you're asking about. Who's gonna
take on that? Yeah, that. I hate to say secondary role, but just somebody that's just gonna. These roles will be established as the season goes on. Right now, it's sort of trying to feeling each other out. And again, I know AC's kind of talked about a lot of kids that are gaining valuable experience now here at the varsity level, that they're going to kind of be used to that come January, the rigors of the FBA, this grueling non-conference schedule where both of these teams, without a doubt, are going to be tough out to come tournament time.
That's only the 4th game of the year for Hortonville, only the 5th game for Kimberly. So, as you said, they're still trying to, kind of find their role on the team, find, what the ways they can contribute to a victory.
That's the fun thing too. That I know Ricardo and I, we talk about that a lot. Is it's always fun to see teams in February, teams that we saw in the early season. Wow, that player's really developed. Or wow, this team has really come together and are playing excellent basketball. And I have no doubt about both of these two teams. I mean, you're going to want to face these two squads in a tournament game in March? I don't think so.
I'm just trying to think how much better Kimberly can get when they get McGinnis back and they get Drought back, and these young sophomores who are getting so much time, get even more experience. Coach Lepisto is just beside himself on the sideline. He's got a 14-point lead, but he's still coaching hard.
Kepler 8 points all this half. 12-point game. Good feed, and Dulis with the finish. Urban with the feed. 8 points for Dulis.
As you said, that was a great pass from Evan.
That's going to be a foul on Kimberly. That's number 7 team-wise. Vondren whistled, so 1-1 coming up.
Hortonville finds themselves a bonus.
Springer at the line, number 11. That's Maddie Springer, a 5'4" junior, and misses the front end. You look at that Hortonville roster, Mike. A lot of sophomores, juniors, some 3 freshmen on there as well. Young team.
Yeah, Wilson and Harrelly are about the only 2 seniors that have seen a lot of time tonight.
Yeah, so it's going to take a little time for that to really mesh, and again, these young kids to get that varsity experience. And as I said, it's going to be pretty tough come tournament time, I'm sure. We talked about
they've got one of the best players in the state, so I mean that takes you a long way. So,
and with Kimberly again, we talked about Van Vondren, Dulis, those kids. Some of those kids, they got their minutes last year. So you come in having that varsity experience, makes a difference.
Yeah, sophomores now, but you get playing time as a freshman in the FVA, as good as that league is. That's saying something to be a key contributor as a freshman in this league.
Yeah, I'm always amazed too that these kids can come from 8th grade and then play in a league this good, right? That just was unheard of 20 years ago. You had to play a freshman year, and sometimes you had to play your JV year, and then your final 2 years were at the varsity level. Now these kids, I mean, you think 8th grade, they're middle school, and then right away playing varsity ball in the Fox Valley Association or any league, Wisconsin Valley Conference, Big Rivers Conference, Classic 8, whatever. Any league, any varsity league that's really impressive, I think.
And again, that goes back to the work that these programs do with kids when they're in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and not just the work the coaches do, but the parents committing and the families committing and the kids committing to want to get better.
Well, right. The feeder programs, of course, all the summer stuff with AAU. I mean, just the athleticism and skill nowadays that some of these kids come in out of 8th grade, right? It's incredible. Final 30 seconds here in this one. Kimberly about to improve to 5-0 on the season, keep that unbeaten record in the FVA intact as well.
Well, the Papermakers played like the 2nd-ranked team in the state this tonight, didn't they, Brett?
They sure did. Hortonville.
Kimberly fans booing that timeout there with 10 seconds left in the game, but
always coaching. Hank on the chat, our friend Hank DeWild. Yes, the dynamic of high school basketball has changed a lot, especially for the girls. Talent level for the girls side just exploded. I mean, it was always pretty darn good, but wow, in the last handful of years in particular, unreal talent coming through. But yeah, all those youth, I know when even my kids were going up, they're playing little dribblers at first grade, second grade, right? And you're playing tournament games at third grade. Crazy.
Well, and you see it like, the FBA, even the teams that are picked to maybe finish 7th, 8th, 9th in the league, it doesn't mean they'll finish 7th, 8th, or 9th, but those teams that are picked there, they've got talented players too. It's so fun to watch.
It really is.
And the best part is that Brad, they seem to really enjoy it. They're playing year round, or however months they're devoting to however many sports they play, but they all seem like they're having a good time and enjoying it.
Well, Kimberly had a good time tonight as we look at our Cellcom, Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. Papermakers with the win, 63-46. Mike, I want maybe you get some quick thoughts on these two teams. I'm going to add up the scoring book for both sides, and then I'm going to shut this down and get ready for the boys' game. But how about for the victorious Papermakers?
Just a complete effort tonight, Brett. Again, they started out a little slow with some turnovers and missed some shots, but once they got their offense rolling, Reagan Krieger specifically taking the ball to the basket, getting layups with their left hand, layups with their right hand. The other thing Kimberly did really well tonight, and we talked about it, was rebounding. They were active on the offensive glass, got a lot of second chance opportunities, and what they did was they kept Hortonville off the glass. I don't think Hortonville got too many second chance baskets tonight. Just a great all-around effort. Great defense by Kimberly. Great offensive effort by the Papermakers as well. Holding Hortonville to 46 points. They came in averaging 62. So, and Kimberly right on its average. Kimberly came in averaging 62.8, and they scored 63 tonight. So, for Hortonville, they'll regroup. They're a talented team, like you said. They're a young team, but they're talented. They've got a great player in Rainey Wilson, who maybe didn't have her best game tonight, but she was still a force. Still a threat. So Hortonville will regroup from this, and they'll be back just fine.
Well, scoring for the Papermakers: Urban with 7, Eben with 7, Asman with 3, Dulis with 10, Van Vonderen 9, Krieger with 27. For the Polar Bears, Lilly with 1, Wilson with 20, Hurley with 11, Martin with 6, Kepler with 8. Kimberly improves to 5-0 overall, 3-0 in the FBA. Papermakers are home against Appleton West on Tuesday. FBA matchup tip-off scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Hortonville now 2-2 on the season overall, 2-1 in the FBA. Hortonville home against Fondy on Tuesday. That too is an FBA matchup tip-off scheduled for 7:45 p.m. Again, we're shutting things down. We'll get ready for the boys' game here in a little bit. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. Get those stocking stuffers ready with buy one, gift one free on all connected watches, tablets, and cameras. Mix and match to spread the love and cheer. Visit Cellcom.com for details. And Cooney's, they have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Visit them online at Cooney'sEmbroideryandSportswear.com. So for Mike, for Rosie, and the crew with USA Today Network Wisconsin, this is Greg Christopherson signing off. Once again, the final score tonight, 63-46. Kimberly with the win on the girls' side. Be sure to follow us again. Brand new stream coming up as we bring you the boys' version of Kimberly and Hortonville coming